Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Drive to Work. This is your lovely Jen coming at you as I roll down the road. All right, so yeah, I know I did say that we would be coming back with a podcast here soon, but I have a reason, I have an excuse. I don't know if it's a good excuse, but I have an excuse. So, what happened was I went to a concert in Kentucky and I just honestly didn't have time to sit down and get everyone together and record. So, doesn't mean, oh God, he flaked again. I promise you, it really doesn't. It just means that I had real life pop up and I got to go see Vanilla Ice and Tone Loc with my best friend. So, yeah, sorry. Not sorry. Actually, sorry. I am looking forward to getting the crew together and hitting the mics. I am getting a temporary studio painting area set up until we can get the garage done, which is we're aiming tentatively for the springtime of 2020 because it's getting ready to start going fall and winter here in the area. Currently, I'm up here in Albany, New York. We're getting ready to roll into Albany, New York. So it's a not so much drive to work, it's a driving at work. But it's starting to go fall up here. It's actually in the 40s and 50s up here, so it's definitely got to bring a hoodie because if not, you're going to freeze your butt off. Which is really weird because in Indiana and Ohio, it's in the 80s and 90s, so it's very bipolar like weather. Luckily, I'm one of those type of dudes that slap on a pair of shorts, and when I'm down in Ohio, I have a t-shirt, and when I'm up here, I toss on a hoodie, and I am fine. So yeah, went and saw Vanilla Ice and Tone Loc. Got off work, drove 5 hours down. My bestie joined me, and then went and saw the concert. Scored a cool hat. Got to meet Vanilla Ice. He is like super freaking chill. Like he is so awesome. Really enjoyed taking a few moments out and meeting the guy. That was really cool. Modeling and painting. I actually have been painting. Surprising as that may sound, I was painting a mimic from, oh, I can't remember the company, but Kim just recently, actually, I guess, went and purchased everything they had. So we've got all of their different mimic stuff and all the little stuff. I've really enjoyed actually painting the mimic. I definitely need to get a little bottle of drying retarder though to carry with me in the travel kit. Uh, Speaking of the the travel kit that I ended up purchasing is awesome. Zero regrets. I still need to finish like 2 or 3 articles. Yeah, it's kind of, I'm behind. I really am. Oopsie. But hopefully I can alleviate that soonish. Oh, man. Studio is coming along though. It's my boys' room. Funny as I may, they never play in there and they rarely sleep. Most of the time they'll crash on the couch after playing video games. So I asked them, it's like, hey, do you mind if I take over part of it? And they're like, oh no, it's fine. We never even go in there most of the time. It's like, sweet. So the joys of having video game loving sons who usually play until they pass out, I guess. But yeah, we're getting that all situated, getting the bookshelf set up. I picked up a microphone for Kim. She also has a 2035, so we can run it in through the mixing board. So there's that. And then looking at getting her a boom arm. We have some painting lights, though we're looking at expanding. Next up is setting up the airbrush stuff. So it's coming along. I had to de-teenage it, so I had to pick up a lot of stuff. Been vacuuming, gonna treat the carpets, all the fun stuff. But the shelves are up, or the big storage shelves are up with all the games and everything. There's one thing that we're trying to figure out how we're going to do, and basically it's we want to have a whenever we live stream, we want to be able to do let's plays, or not even streaming. We can also record these and come back and edit them down and actually do let's plays. So we can actually take a lot of the games that we have purchased and do playing examples, board games, card games, miniature figurine games, on top of being able to do painting while on camera as well. So a little bumpy out here if you can hear all the clunk, 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 clunk bouncing me around. But we've come up with the desk that we want. We don't know if there's going to be enough room for it. So we're going to have to break out the trusty tape measure and drag it out. And, I might actually just make the boys' room storage, and I might actually move the paint studio itself into the bedroom because I know there's plenty of room there. So it's kind of we're in the decision making thing right now. It's like, well, do we want to do this? Do we want to do that? How do we want to do it? And IKEA is our friend throughout the entire thing. IKEA is going to get several $100s of my money here soon because who doesn't love modular furniture that you can hack? I need a couple Dedals. I need a couple of the little cube things. And there's a desk that actually attaches to the cubes. That's the one thing that I'm looking at picking up for like a let's play table. And then the cubes will be good for storing our painting stuff. So it's like the quest to, I felt like I had it really good with the basement. I had a pretty good amount of space. I had everything stored out, but the flooding after I broke my leg and it broke my heart. And it seems like it's been one thing after another when trying to get a new painting studio set up. And it's crazy because I used to paint in a closet, like literally it was a closet. And now it has expanded so much. It's like, man. But in the truck, I've been able to quote unquote take it back old school, just some brush, a paint, a palette, and paint. Just paint. And that's been really, really nice. Like I said, I've been working on two models. One of them I cleaned up. It's the Bellaroma stuff. I'll have to get the name of that. But it's like a little mimic, and I'm trying to make it where it looks like the flesh it's like flesh going back and fading into the wood, like it's mid transformation from the chest. So that's been an interesting effect. I'm definitely rusty with a brush, and I'm also definitely needing to bring more supplies, such as a little bit of flow aid and drying retarder, so things go a little bit smoother on. I could just break it down old school and just use a little bit of a little bit more water, and paint on some layers. But I'm trying to do the blending versus layer effect because it's easier and it's faster, and it's something I should be doing more often. Damn my cheating ways. Not really cheating, but I just like saying that because it's teasing Mark Maxey a little bit because he calls my airbrushing cheating. So damn my cheating ways about using an airbrush for those super smooth blends. No, I've gotten lazy with a brush. Now, brush-wise, I've been using Siege Studios Artist Opus, and I'm going to eat crow here because I kind of teased them with the Artist Opus thing, and some of them I am not a fan of. I definitely am not a fan of their synthetic line, and I kind of look at their dry brush line a little bit like, okay, but I haven't tried them. But I will say that the Series S that I have actually worked out really well. And now the question is, do they meet my expectations for price point? Honestly, they're about the same price as a Series 7, and I will say, I think honestly, the quality control is a little better with these. I'm having less issues, less like hair splitting, dovetailing, and Yeah, so far so good. I'm I'm actually relatively impressed. Now, if the rumors are true and these are basically if these are literally Rosemary and Company Series 33s, then yeah, the Series 33s are better quality than the Series 7s nowadays. But I don't know how true that is. They do, to me, they do act a lot like Series 7s. So if you like Series 7s, you might like these brushes. They're not soft. They're not as soft as say the 3505s from Raphael. Their premium line, they're a little bit stiffer. So I definitely like that. I've been bouncing between a size 4 and a size 2 and a little bit of size 1 for some details. But primarily it's been size 4 and size 2. Also been oh shit. Also been using a lot of also been using a lot of Reaper paints. I found some Reaper paints for $1 a bottle, so I picked them up. And I haven't used Reaper paints since they've been in the screw jar, and yeah, kind of digging them. I like how they flow. I need to play around with them a little bit more. Maybe pick up some of their others like red tones and blue tones to see how it is. It was a lot of flesh, browns and flesh tones, so playing around with those. But I'm actually pretty damn happy with them. The problem is that in my area there isn't really a ton of people who sell Reaper paints. But I did forget. Kim did pick up like a couple starter suitcases from them, so she actually has quite a few Reaper paints. I'm gonna have to borrow some of hers and play around with them. Do like a versus and compare, see which ones that I do prefer and what their pluses and minuses from my perspective are. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, so some of you may know I'm an admin over for the Eldar forum on Facebook. We got about 9,000 members, and there's about 7 or 8 of us, and they just released plastic screaming, howling banshees, and we got to see the entire ugly side of the Eldar group. Pruned out a few more, ended up banning like 3 or 4 people just for being very toxic and hostile because one of the miniatures is a dude, and it's in female armor, which completely fits the canon of Eldar. And as you can imagine, a lot of really snarky and nasty things were said. And so, yep, do not tolerate. Bye bye. Boom, got rid of them. It's crazy just because something that's in canon comes out. And okay, so we've been waiting for like 20 years for plastic minis and X-Arcs, and these come out, and it was like a cry fest. I'm like, really? Really? We've been waiting for 20 years. These models look pretty damn good. They're modular. You don't like the face, the unhelmeted head? Guess what? Swapping a new one. Go get one from the Elf line from Fantasy. They match up. And put your own head on there. It really doesn't matter. I don't know why everyone is so freaking cute. It was a QQ fest. The entire Q Q Q Q Q. For those that don't know, if you ever type two Q's next to each other, especially lowercase ones, it looks like two eyes crying. So I always refer to that as QQing. It's a video. It's an MMO thing. A couple MMOs I played that had PvP into it, mixed in with it would actually, yeah. So, hum, hum, throw them back, I guess. So far, the drive to work have actually been pretty well received. People like the short format. I wish I did have someone else I could talk with. A little bit of interplay, a little bit of interaction. But ultimately, just sitting here rambling for a little bit and talking, as long as I can keep it interesting. I don't want to be that drone that just trying to eat up time, like almost like it sounds like now. But I promise you, it's not. Yep, a lot of people seem to do like it. It's like a little chunk of what's going on. stuff from my perspective, which is always nice. The last one was a lot longer because I was talking about ReaperCon. Oh, what else? Shovel Knight actually funded really well. I think we unlocked everything that they had planned on bringing out. The initial package with miniatures was 70. They actually had it was really cool. I like the way they did this. They had a package with miniatures and they had a package with just standees. So you can, if you're not a miniatures person and you're cool with just playing a traditional board game, you have the stand-ups. But you can add the miniatures to them, and it didn't really increase the cost a ton. I think it was 70 for the miniatures being included, and then without the miniatures, I want to say it was like somewhere between 30 and 40. So it was actually well priced, and then you had all of the add-ons and all of the freebie toss-ins, the exclusives. So it was really nice. I think to add everything in, it's 132. So I still need to go add another $60 or $70 to my pledge, even though it's afterwards. You can still add stuff to your pledge manager. But yeah, I need to add stuff to my pledge manager to equal up all the add-ons as well, because there was a whole bunch of extra villain add-ons, which is which was really nice, really cool. thoroughly and thoroughly enjoyed it. I did get to see it played at Adepticon. It looked like a really fun game. I didn't get to play it. I played Barnacle Bay, and I believe Foley actually sat down with us and taught us how to play that. Mark was actually really busy teaching people how to play Shovel Knight, so that's really cool. In other news, I got to actually see my buddy JT. A lot of his graphic design stuff was out in the wild. Like the Cowboy Bebop, I saw the game, I've seen the sleeves and everything. It's crazy because I haven't seen the game and sleeves in the same area. Like one store has the sleeves, the other store has the game. And they're like three states apart, Ohio to Massachusetts. So the Massachusetts at That's Entertainment, they have the sleeves. And then Game Haven in Dayton, Ohio, had the game itself. So it's kind of like, okay. And so I'm really thinking about picking it up. If anything, it's Cowboy Bebop. My friend did all the graphic design work on it, and it's Cowboy Bebop. But yeah, so Jasco, that's another one of those companies that seems like we're going to be seeing a decent amount of with their universal fighting system that they picked up, I do believe. I think it was something that they picked up from another company, and they're really expanding on it. They have Street Fighter so far. I've heard rumors of Mortal Kombat. I guess some other smaller anime stuff has been incorporated into it. So it's really cool. It's like a whole bunch of different things. I need to really investigate that particular company a little bit more and see how their licenses are going. I know I do. Okay, if I remember correctly, they did go after the Marvel license, but that was picked up by Dallas's company, so they weren't able to get it. But yeah, so there's that fun stuff. I will say one thing I regretted because I cannot remember where I saw it. I saw a Harry Potter board game on sale for like half off, and I regret not picking it up because of the miniatures that are in it. For those who don't know, Night Models got the license for Harry Potter, and they created this game. And from everybody I have talked to, the game is horrible, like just bad. But the miniatures are absolutely beautiful. Like legitly, I own a couple, and they are legitly just absolutely beautiful. So I think I remember what store it was now that I started talking about it. I believe it was up in Ashtabula, Ohio. Might have swing back there and see if they still have it because I think I'm going to buy it if I can get it for a reasonable price, i.e., cheap. Just because I want to paint the miniatures. I'll probably toss the rest of the models or rest of the game out. I don't know. I might keep it for a let's play so we can roast it all together on live stream. Be like, God, this game sucks so bad. It's so bad. My theory is Warner Brothers wanted a game. Knight just wanted to make the miniatures. And so what they did was they made this really, really bad, cheap game to go along with these really beautiful miniatures. That's my theory. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's my theory. Because Knight, from what I have understood, actually make pretty good games. Like their games have been pretty solid. But the Harry Potter is the exception of that. It's like really not good. It's kind of meh. So, like I said, that's my theory, and I'm a hold. That's what I'm gonna hold to. Moving forward, next convention. I think I've mentioned this before. Adepticon is the next convention on the plate. The next one we will be going to. So, yay! I would love to go to LVO. It's just can't drive it, and flying out there is a bit much. So it's like, I really want to go. I really, really do. But I think I'll just stick with Adepticon and ReaperCon. One of these days, I'll actually sit down and paint at one of these conventions. Really, I promise I will. I've yet to paint at either of them. I bring my stuff and never sit down and paint. It's starting to become bothersome. But now that I've actually put paint on a model, it's like my model is sitting there and I'm looking at me like, paint me, and my paint kit's sitting in there like, you want to. But it really is the paint kit is nice because and it's like right now I'm in the midst of okay, well I need to add this in there, well I need to add that in there. Okay, well this doesn't really need to be in there, or I have too much of this paint, I need to add something else. It's kind of along the tinker line of what I'm doing, and eventually my goal is to actually set up a packing list for this thing and be like, all right, hey, this is what I recommend that you put into it and carry along with you. Like it's designed with I carry just a standard pallet, but it does have enough room to put a wet pallet. The problem is with wet pallet is it's mm, the paint will can run. It's just a really fine line. I might have to play with it and see if I can come up with that perfect balance of moisture versus paint where it doesn't get too liquidy. But don't know. Just don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, can't wait till the upcoming, like I said, upcoming Adepticon. Pick up some more stuff for the bags. Talk to Jason Craze, see what he recommends as far as products and whatnot to go into it. All right. So, yeah, I think I'm starting to lose steam here. I'm starting to lose the what to talk about. And once that starts happening, I think it's about time for us to go ahead and cut it because I don't want to be too rambly. All right, thank you for dooning. Thank you for dooning. I don't know what dooning is. Maybe driving really fast uphill on a sand dune and jump it. Maybe running up sand hills and dunes. Maybe it's eating a bunch of spice. Is the cinnamon spice challenge dooning? Hmm. Hmm. That's a question that will have to be discussed at a later time. But thank you for tuning in to Drive to Work, or in this case, Driving at Work. where you get to listen to the insane ramblings of a dude like me talking about all the different various stuff. So if there's something you'd like me to talk about on one of my little drive to works, yeah, just reach out and touch someone. No, just give me a buzz and let me know. Like, hey, I'd like to know your opinion on this, or hey, I'd like to hear you talk about that. It's a lot easier when you're doing the podcast and there's multiple people because you can play off of each other. But when you're by yourself, it's like you kind of have to dig for topics and dig for stuff that you're trying to think of. So, any help will help. Damn it. But thanks, folks. I'll talk at you later. And remember, you can find us over on Facebook at facebook.com/The Models Workshop. Also on Instagram and Twitter at their respective URLs /MWAH podcast. And I think we have a MeWe too, the new social media platform. Just search for Models Workshop. You'll find us. But thanks, folks, for tuning in. Talk to you next time. Bye.